and you were like, I want to do a show. I have a brilliant idea. I want to do a show about you, where you just say shit.
Yeah, where I talk to you.
And I was like, okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Conversation with Colin. I'm Greg, and this is my roommate, Colin. Now, sometimes Colin says crazy stuff, so for the final time in the final season, I'm reaching into my random topic pile, pulling one out, throwing one at him, and talking it out for your amusement. If you like that, subscribe to us here on YouTube, like the video, share us with your friends, and of course, support us at patreon.com/kindafunny, which is the whole reason we're doing this final season. Colin, are you ready?
Yes.
Today's topic is... what excites you to make so much stuff for Kinda Funny? What's the eventual goal? This is from Frankie McFarland over on our Patreon page.
That's a tough question because
It's
I think
a big question.
It is,
yeah.
and we have to unpack it.
Okay. Oh, finally, we're unpacking something on this show.
I think that we didn't expect how much we were going to love doing this.
100% true. 100% true.
I think that when you came back from VidCon 3 years ago, I think it was.
Right.
And you were like, I want to do a show. I have a brilliant idea. I want to do a show about you, where you just say shit.
Yeah, where I talk to you.
And I was like, okay. And
Well, first you're like, no, that's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. If you don't know, VidCon, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is basically GDC for YouTube creators. It's a YouTube conference. You go there, you learn about YouTube. I went there because I was lucky enough to be hosting a show over on IGN's Start channel called Up at Noon, and I knew nothing about YouTube. So I went there, and you always say that I came back like I was an apostle, and I had the flame over my head, and I was preaching the word of the Holy Spirit of like, YouTube's this huge thing, and we got to get on it, and we got to be doing stuff, and that's the future.
you were absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, clearly we quit our jobs to come do YouTube. I hope it.
Well, you were right. And, I was skeptical of the idea, but
Yeah.
it was a thing we were just doing for silly reasons on the side. And, those early Conversation with Colin episodes are funny and stupid. Just like this episode.
I was gonna say this episode's
And we're just a little bit older.
yeah.
And I became really enthralled with it because I realized, that there was a lot I didn't know about it, and that I didn't realize how badly I needed an outlet to not do what we were doing at work. Like, I didn't want to do that, only, and ultimately didn't want to do it at all compared to what we were doing on YouTube.
Right.
And while I'm thankful and blessed for what we were able to do at IGN for all those years, and will always remember the people that gave us those opportunities and always really appreciate that, and always rep that site forever.
Of course.
I realized that what made me really happy was having a little bit more control over what I was doing and giving just cutting the middleman and going directly to the people that wanted to kind of enjoy our stuff. And we were able to slowly build to that over time when we introduced the Game Over Greggy show and Oreo Oration and Comic Book Origins and all these kinds of things. So the drive was to spend time with good friends, and you and I were already good friends, but I've known Nick for a long time, but I really grew to love Tim and Nick, and appreciate what they knew that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And that when you put us together into a broke-ass sort of Transformer Voltron kind of thing,
Sure.
that
Sparks are flying off us.
We're one coherent, competent person that knows something about everything that we need to know about, and that has been really, really, really fun and rewarding and fun enough to make me want to be bold enough to do it full time.
Yeah.
So that's why I do it.
Yeah.
And it's only going to grow from here, I think, and I think that we're only going to be doing more. This is all we're going to do, and that makes me happy because we control our own destiny now, and that was another exciting thing about it. This wasn't only a burning the midnight oil thing. This ended up being a way of life for us and a tradition for us to record our shows and do all these kinds of things. And now we're not going to be tired after days of work of doing, whatever we did at work and then doing the Game Over Greggy show. Now we're going to do it sharp and it's going to be better. And now we're going to do our game stuff and it's going to be better. And now we're going to do, our podcast and they're going to be better. And we're going to do Colin and Greg and all these things that are going to be better than what we were doing. And that's what's exciting because we're smaller and we're more nimble and we're going to go right to the source.
Yeah, I mean,
of the people that want.
That's the excitement too. You already hit on it, right? Is we have a connection directly to you. There is no middleman. I love the fact that whatever we do, if it succeeds or fails, it's because of us. At no point now can I sit there and be like, well, this would have done so much better if. And be like, well, it didn't get cover placement or this happened or the tweet didn't go. If I say any of that stuff, it's on us. Mm-hmm. One of us here screwed it up. And it's equal parts like exciting and terrifying because then there's like nothing. But I know the way we all work is that we won't do the failures. It'll only be the successes.
Yeah.
And if something isn't working, we will fix it immediately. We'll fix it like that. There's no longer anything of like, oh, can I change that? Oh, somebody's not happy about this. What do I use to make the change? You know what I mean? There's no, and not that that was a bad part. I mean, there's a part of collaborating in a giant group at IGN that's amazing, right? We get so much more diverse opinions, do so many different things. But having it be just us and knowing how we all feel is great. And that makes us have a vision and able to go do something.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that we're just smaller and we're nimble, and I think that that's nothing but beneficial.
Yeah.
To us, it's nothing but beneficial to people that enjoy what we make.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm concerned about is that I want to make sure that the things we're making are good for the audience and that they enjoy them. And like you said, we have a direct connection to them where we'll know immediately. And our livelihoods depend on that. Mm-hmm. The thing is I don't want to skate or coast at all. Like every cent we earn and like every accolade we get, I want it to make sure it's earned and that we're doing it right. And we're not doing it through snazzy headlines and all this kind of shit. Like we'll have those because that's important, but I want to make sure that when people get inside, they find what they're looking for. And
that's why we watch the analytics. So even if it is a sexy Tim thumbnail,
it's gotta be.
You see the fact that people stick it out. They're not like, oh, wait, no, there's no girl in this.
So I think being smaller is better. Doing less is more. And, we want the perfect situation and scenario for me with Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games is that we make just enough content where you don't miss any of it. And you don't have to pick and choose if you don't want to, unless you want, unless you really want to, that's fine. But I want to make sure that we give you enough where you're like you can enjoy all of it, and it's not wasting your time, and you don't feel like you want your time back. Your time's precious, your money's precious, and I want to treat that all with a lot of care.
Yeah. As to Frankie's the eventual goal, I mean, what? Be bigger. Continue to produce what you want. One day when we're old men and tired and don't want to be in front of the camera, be able to bring up people that we've chosen who are in line with what we feel and be able to keep going and take this legacy somewhere and be a company and a community that can go on for years and years and years.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I was talking about to my mom about this actually. Like, she's like, "What is your goal?" And it's
what
about
Betty Ann?
What Big Betty Ann, and she was like,
she's actually very petite.
Yeah, but she was. She's like, "Well, what is your goal?" And I'm like, "My goal is for it to not be about us. Like it's about us right now. It's about the four of us right now. But I want Kind of Funny to be this thing that people come to and that we can find the appropriate talent and we can do the right things so that it's not about us and that it's about what is best for the viewer. And maybe it's not about us after all." That's why like people with Conversation with Colin, like, why are you getting rid of it? It's arguably maybe the best thing you guys do or the most popular thing you guys do. And I'm like, that's fine. I appreciate that. I don't agree. I appreciate that. But I want you to not want this show because I want you to know that we can do something better than this show. And that we can do something better than this show. Maybe it's about Nick, or maybe it's about Tim, and maybe it's about me, and maybe about you, or all four of us together. But maybe in a few years it's not about any of us, and it's about someone new, and we kind of recede into the background and can direct things that are best for the viewers. I want Kind of Funny to be a place you go for years. And I want you to love us and care about us. That's great. And we appreciate that, but I want you to love and care about the mission statement, which is what is best for the viewer. Yep. And it's not always going to be about us in front of a camera or us behind a camera, because I think that limits us. I think that we can be bigger and better than anything that we can think about right now.
Agreed. And well said. Thank you, Colin, for your time. Thank you, Frankie McFarland, number one, for being one of our patrons, but of course, for writing in with this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is A Conversation with Colin, the final season from Tempest here in San Francisco. Let us know what you think of Kind of Funny, what we're doing with this whole Kind of Funny Games thing in the comments below. Then make sure you share us with your friends. Then make sure you support us on Patreon, because guess what? We don't have jobs or really great health care. But until next time, it's been our pleasure serving you.